möte om Palestina och Palestinas solidaritet. Kort innan vi börjar vill jag dra några praktiska frågor. Vi är många här ikväll, så nödutgångar finns längst bak, eller där ni gick in. Toaletter finns också längst bak. Vi kommer ha en paus efter Leilas anförande och då kommer det finnas möjlighet att köpa fika igen i fiket som är längst bak. Vi kommer hålla på ungefär till klockan 9. Och det är också så att talet kommer att filmas här ikväll och läggas upp på nätet, så man behöver inte känna att man behöver filma själv, utan det finns film tillgänglig. Eventuella fotografier som sagt går bra efter att Leila har talat. Men först ikväll välkomnar vi Patrik Paulov, internationell sekreterare för Kommunistiska Partiet, som ska tala om Palestina, solidariteten, men också om den svenska imperialismen. Välkommen Patrik.
Så, Palestinavänner, antiimperialister. Det är med stor glädje som vi välkomnar Leila Khaled hit till Kommunistiska Partiets hus. Det har, som ni säkert har sett, varit en del kritiska kommentarer i media mot det här mötet. Det har kallats för en skandal, en hyllning av våldsbejakare, och det har rest krav på att vi ska ställa in mötet. Sådana reaktioner är inget nytt. Ockupationsvänner, anhängare av sionismen, har i alla tider försökt tysta palestinska röster. Från vår sida vill jag säga att hit är du alltid välkommen, Leila Khaled. Hit är PFLP alltid välkomna. Solidariteten har genom åren haft en framträdande plats hos oss. Vi har många medlemmar och sympatisörer som har gjort stora insatser och uppoffringar för palestiniernas kamp. Vi har haft läkare och sköterskor på plats i flyktinglägren. Vi har under 2000-talet samlat in 1,5 miljon kronor till ett sjukhus och en skola i Gaza. Vi har i Sverige demonstrerat innan flygblad och under en lång tid drivit kraven på en bojkott av Israel som en väg att sätta press på ockupationsmakten. Under hela den här tiden så har vi haft nära relationer med PFLP, det parti som Leila Khaled representerar. Och förra veckan då var det flera journalister som frågade mig om just PFLP. Hur kan ni bjuda in en talare från en organisation som EU stämplar som terrorister? Svaret är att vi accepterar inte terrorstämplingen av PFLP. Precis som vi aldrig accepterade att ANC och Nelson Mandela kallades terrorister av apartheidregimen och dess vänner. Motstånd mot ockupation är inte terrorism. Motstånd mot ockupation är en rättighet för varje ockuperat folk. Det är palestiniernas rätt att med de medel som finns kämpa för att befria sitt land och för flyktingarnas rätt att återvända. Terrorism, det är snarare vad palestinierna har utsatts för i decennier av Israel och dess uppbackare i omvärlden. Något som vi alltid har uppskattat hos PFLP, det är att de knyter samman palestiniernas nationella kamp med antiimperialismen och antikapitalismen. För Palestinafrågan handlar inte bara om Israel och Palestina. Den hänger samman med imperialismen, med det system av utsugning och förtryck som spänner över i stort sett hela världen. Det är ett system där ynka 62 personer kan äga lika mycket som den fattigaste halvan av jordens befolkning. För ganska precis 10 år sedan, i mars 2006, då gick israeliska styrkor in i staden Jericho på Västbanken och kidnappade PFLPs generalsekreterare Ahmad Sadat. I 10 år har han nu suttit i israeliskt fängelse och han är dömd till 30 år för medlemskap i PFLP. Några månader innan den här kidnappningen så gjorde vår tidning Sekreterare en intervju med honom. Och där fick Peter P-ledaren frågan om vad han önskade att Palestinavänner i Sverige skulle göra. Och så här sa han: det bästa sättet som ni kan stödja oss på är att slåss för jämlikhet och rättvisa i ert hemland. Vårt mål är att bygga en ny värld som inte känner någon ojämlikhet mellan människor, där utsugning inte existerar. Om folket i Sverige enas i kamp mot imperialismen så är det ett ovärderligt stöd för oss. Varje framgång för den antiimperialistiska rörelsen är en framgång för oss i Palestina, liksom för andra folk som slåss för sin frihet. Slut på citatet. De orden har jag ofta återkommit till. För solidaritetsarbetet måste förenas med en kamp för jämlikhet och rättvisa där vi lever och verkar. Det måste förenas med att vi tillsammans gör vad vi kan för att Sverige ska sluta krypa för USA och EU. Sluta böja sig för imperialismens jakt på råvaror och profiter. För att istället bli en självständig röst i världen. En röst som står på de förtryckta, utsugna och kämpande folkens sida. Det ska medges att Sverige har gjort positiva saker också på senare år. Att den nya regeringen har erkänt Palestina, det är bra och viktigt. Att Margot Wallström kritiserat Israels utomrättsliga avrättningar, det är bra och viktigt. All heder åt det. Men det förändrar inte att Sverige är ett imperialistiskt land som allt mer underordnar sig de intressen som utgår från Washington och Bryssel. Vi kommunister menar att den för stunden viktigaste frågan för antiimperialister och fredsvänner i vårt land, det är att hålla Sverige utanför NATO. De senaste 2 decennierna har vi sakta men säkert smugits allt närmare den västliga krigsalliansen. Och det är trots att de flesta svenskar är motståndare till NATO. I slutet av maj ska den svenska riksdagen besluta om ett så kallat värdlandsavtal med NATO. Och det innebär ett nytt steg närmare NATO-medlemskap. Det här avtalet sluts i en tid när NATO-länder spelar en oerhört destruktiv roll i Mellanöstern, vilket också drabbar palestinier. För 5 år sedan bombades Libyen sönder och samman av NATO. Och Sverige deltog också med JAS-plan. Idag är Libyen i fullständigt kaos. Landet har 3 olika regeringar och hundratals väpnade miliser som kämpar mot varandra. Men jag tror att det finns några som är glada över det här kriget. Och det är terroristerna i Islamiska staten. Sönderfallet och splittringen har ju möjliggjort för IS att etablera sig med tusentals krigare på libysk mark. Även i Syrien så bär NATO-länder stor skuld till den här tragiska utvecklingen vi sett de senaste åren. Vad hade IS och övriga al-Qaida-grupper varit idag om inte USA, Frankrike, Storbritannien och deras kungadiktatorvänner i Gulfen pumpat in pengar och vapen i den här konflikten? Vad hade terroristerna varit idag om inte Turkiet låtit tiotusentals krigare passera gränsen till Syrien? Vad hade IS varit om inte Turkiet låtit dem exportera olja i massomfattning? Det är sådana vänner, sådana vapenbröder vi får genom NATO. Att hålla Sverige utanför NATO och NATO utanför Sverige, det kommer för lång tid att vara en central fråga för antiimperialister och fredsvänner i det här landet. Lyckas vi med det, då utgör det ett stöd också till palestinierna och till andra folk som drabbas av imperialismens framfart. Nog om den frågan. Jag vet att ni, precis som jag, ser fram emot att lyssna på kvällens huvudtalare. Och jag vill avsluta med att säga att jag är glad, inte bara över att Leila Khaled är här såklart, men jag är glad över att så många har kommit hit idag. För det visar att Palestina-solidariteten lever. Det visar att antiimperialismen lever. Tack för mig.
sagt till kvällens huvudtalare, Leila Khaled, medlem av PFLPs politbyrå. A warm welcome to Comrade Leila Khaled.
Comrades and friends, comrades from Palestine, friends supporting Palestine. I know I'm in a country which is, in our understanding, it's a democratic country. But now I hear criticism. And we look upon Sweden as a supporter to the Palestinians. But when we dig in research, we still find the strong ties with Israel. It's a good step to support the Palestinian struggle and to help the Palestinians to better their life in supporting projects there. But this is not enough. It's one step, because you can't be with two opponents at the same time. Supporting the Palestinians, but having ties with the enemy who created and was the reason behind the struggle of the Palestinians. I hear call upon your government, who wants to be real to justice and peace, must cut all ties with apartheid states like Israel. It's you who are going change that attitude. You know, governments look for their interests, always. And sometimes they ignore the interest of the people. If you ask any of those governments, they would say, we have trade, and these are international relationships that benefits our people. But by educating the peoples of the world with a just cause, one should put the realities of the conflict on the table. Because we cannot expect a democratic country that accepts occupation or discrimination or apartheid, because those are unhuman values, and democracy holds in itself human values. So we cannot say that we only want just slogans, but we have to give credit also. We appreciate highly the recognition of Sweden, the only country in the world, the Palestinian state. And this we appreciate. All our people know that and they appreciate it. Now, when the Minister of Foreign Affairs criticized Israel for its killings for the young people and the children in Palestine, all the voices, the Zionist voices, the imperialist voices, through Israel, she is labeled as anti-Semist. the lie and the accuse that Zionists give to anyone who criticizes. We are in their vision that we are anti-Semites also. But we are Semites. How could we are against ourselves? And these are lies that the Zionists told the whole world after the Second World War, that the Jews deserve a homeland in Palestine by raising a slogan, a land without people for a people without a land. After 20 years, we recognize that we are a people, because they began in apartheid thinking that Palestine was not inhabited by people. They ignored our existence and they built their state on our society and on our land and forced us to live by terror, by massacres. Just in the 9th of April, we commemorated the 68 years of the Deir Yassin massacre in Palestine in 1948, where all the village inhabitants were killed, including pregnant women. I'm not going to speak about the details, but about the idea. How to build a state by a resolution. It's not a natural thing. States are built during the development of societies. Countries are built also through historical process, while Israel is built by a resolution. Is this just to drive out the majority of the population outside their homeland and deny their right to be on their land, in their houses, villages, and cities? This is the introduction for what happened in Palestine in 1948. Just to refresh our memory with how Israel was established. It was supported by the imperialists and before by the European colonialists. France, Britain, Italy, Holland, all those countries occupied our Arab countries, including Palestine. But Britain volunteered to build a homeland for the Jews in the world, while Britain had the mandate over Palestine, where the people were there, and they gave it. But there were uprisings and revolutions in Palestine. The people did not give up. They tried and tried and tried. Yet, thousands of martyrs in Palestine since 1917. Next year, it will mark 100 years of struggle for the Palestinians. But in 1948, Israel was asked to accept the return of the Palestinians to their cities and villages and homes in Palestine as a condition to accept Israel as a state in the United Nations. according to the balance of forces at that time, Israel was recognized as state in Palestine with the name Israel, and the refugees are still refugees. Now we are 6 million Palestinians outside Palestine. This meant that the world believed the lie, that Palestine is a land without a people, to a people, which means the Jews, to have this land. And also they used religion, that God promised them with that land. And you know what I know about God, and he doesn't have a real estate agency and to promise and whatever it is. This is another lie also. Yet there in the media it's always there that they are the chosen people of God. What about us? Aren't we chosen by this God, that we have the right to live in dignity and in equality and in peace, only for those who believed in Judaism? Now, I'm not discussing that about religions. I respect all religions. But how this movement, which is called the Zionist movement, how it could influence the world with its lies. It means that they are very well organized and influential. Just 30 years ago, we couldn't speak in Europe, except and by some hijackings. Now, people accept to hear us, while at that time we were obliged to do something, just to ring the bell for the whole world, that there is injustice in this part of the world, and to ask, who are the Palestinians? Now, Israel is a powerful state because it is supported by the West, unfortunately, including Sweden. But the United States project in our area, not only supporting Israel, as you hear now on the news, those nominees for presidential election in the United States, every one of them declares very clearly and bluntly the first thing, the security of Israel, to protect the security of Israel. And it means that they support occupation. They support apartheid. Why in any country in this world, those who run for election, they speak about programs that deal with the interest of the people, how to change things to better life for the people, except in the United Nations, in the United States. They always declare that Israel is their main support. Once, Madeleine Albright, when she was Secretary of State, she said, we have and we must always protect Israel and its security, because this society is like our society, by which she meant settlers. The settlers went to the state, that part of the world, they executed the people, direct Indians, and to spread civilization in that part of the world and build the United States. But they are still considered settlers in the eyes of the original people and the native people of the United States. That part which is called the United States. The same thing in Australia. Always the natives are considered as uncivilized people, and the white man wants to go and to make them civilized by killing them. This is the only way people learn to kill them. They learn civilization. This is the civilization of the white man. And in Africa, you can tell more stories about it. The same thing the Zionist movement did in Palestine. And unfortunately, the Arabs surrounding, the regimes, were silent. They just talked, but nothing happened. Now the Palestinians are facing a new catastrophe in the Arab world. The camps are targeted. In Iraq, when the Americans went to spread democracy there by their airplanes and with their arsenal, with their troops, the Palestinians were targeted. It's not by an accident. It was intended. In Iraq, there was 20,000 people, Palestinians. Now they are 2,000. Some were killed, some were put in jails and died in jails from torture, and others escaped. Some of them came here, some went to Chile, to Brazil, different parts of the world. And what happened in the 90s and after the 90s, Shimon Peres wrote a book called The New Middle East. The New Middle East, in brief, focused on one point, that the Jewish mind with the Arab wealth, they meant the oil, will make peace in the region. Why? We know very well that they want their minds, they consider it better than ours. We have the wealth, we are uncivilized, and they want to civilize us by combining their minds and thoughts with the oil. And as a market, they want to subjugate the nation in the Middle East. And by this, they establish peace, not giving any concern about the people who are living in that part of the world. Yet, after 2003, the United States, the Bush administration spoke about the Great Middle East. We are really confused now. Once they want new, and sometimes they want the bigger. We don't know what, but we read and witnessed how they created a situation in the area, beginning with occupying Iraq, destroying it and destroying its civilization. we began to follow up how they are going to establish or to redraw the map of the region for their interests. Then, some countries with civilization deep in history should be destroyed. This is one of the targets. Second, to destroy the society. Third, to eliminate the idea of resistance, just the idea, and not only the resistance, for their plots and plans. Fourth, to establish or to create new states by which they divide what was divided in the Arab world in 1916, called Sykes-Picot. This year marked 100 years since that time, after the First World War. Now, destroying the country with its civilization, targeting the people, and creating a new thing. It's the sects and the wars for sects, among sects. Sunni, Shia, Kurdi, and all these. Because our region has many minorities from different ethnicities. So, how to create the new big Middle East by the plan, those who are planning to secure Israel as a Jewish state and to justify it. Look what happened in Iran. They occupied it, killed more than 1 million people, destroyed their monuments, ruins of the past, and also ruins for the future. And began to ignite the fight for a sect and not for the homeland. And they did it successfully. There were demonstrations all over the world, mostly against war in Iraq. But we heard neither the United States, nor Israel, nor the European countries, they didn't listen to the people, which means that they are with the war, even if they are not partners with those wars, ignited and launched by the United States as the leader and the police, the international police. Here there is no democracy. Okay, go fight them and spread democracy by tanks. Here there is no freedom of speech. Go there, ignite another kind of war. And doing this by saying defending the national security of the United States. Or that country is developing like what in Iran. They are having weapons of mass destruction. And that was a big lie. Colin Powell, also the Secretary of State at that time, said they lied the security or the intelligence of the United States. But it was too late. People were killed. A country was destroyed. A society was destroyed. Now, what is next? it's Syria. This is a knot. They want to destroy it and also to divide it. So they sent all the criminals and the terrorists of the world. How can, in any place, a country that the centers of studies in the United States, in Britain, everywhere, they say, there are 30 to 40,000 fighters from different countries. From the United States, 700, from France, 500, from Belgium, 600. How can they count them? 30 to 40. It means that they are the ones who are sending them, who are supporting them. Saudi Arabia has an interest in destroying Syria. Saudi Arabia has an interest in destroying Yemen, because Yemen is also a country with civilization deep in history. Also, it's a very poor country. Yet, they targeted Yemen. In Syria, they created this ISIS, but they created it in Iraq, when was the Americans were occupying Iraq. Those are the ones who separated from Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. They used them, they supported them, and finished with them. So there should be a new creation. It's a tool to create a situation in the whole region, to build what they say the big Middle East region. Sorry. This is the target of those wars. In Lebanon, we have passed there through civil war according to religions, now according to sects. And Lebanon doesn't need anything, just a match and one to ignite, because it's ready for all wars. In Palestine, we have more than catastrophe. We have Oslo Accords and a PA that works for the occupation. How? It has a mission, and the PA is in a position to protect Israel from the activists, whether peaceful activists or violent activists. And one of the conditions is to have security coordination between the Palestinians and Israel. Lately, the chief of security of intelligence declared that they stopped 200 people trying to attack Iran, as if he is proud of it. And this is a message to the Israelis that we are doing our job. Second, President Abu Mazen declared that he is against the intifada. Before, he used to say, I will never allow an intifada to break out in Palestine. As if the people ask question or take permission from anyone to make an intifada. And then, with no shame, he said that we searched the bags of the students of schools. And we found in one school 70 knives in the bags of the children. Who is addressing in this statement? It's really a shame that what so-called president under occupation, that he is doing his best to stop the intifada. Our General Secretary, Ahmed Saadat, was delivered to the Israelis by the PA. I say it very clearly to know that PFLP is against Oslo and its results. For this reason, this PA should leave, must leave. But our people have two contradictions. The main contradiction is with occupation, and everyone knows that. Whenever they want to demonstrate for anything, they go to the checkpoints where the Israeli army, and they don't go to any other place. I'm afraid that our people will find the second contradiction, and it is the minor one and not the main one. It's with the authority. I'm afraid that our people will no more be patient enough to see the two contradictions are even. Then there will be chaos in our homeland. But when the Intifada broke out, it showed first that the Palestinians will never give up. Second, our people are united in resistance. In the West Bank, in Gaza Strip, in the area of 1948, where the Palestinians are given the Israeli passport, and our people outside Palestine. Besides, we have found that more support for our struggle by more campaigners for BDS, boycott, divest, sanctions against Israel. And other countries began to fear their people and thinking of how to deal with their people who are supporting BDS, for example. Israel is now, we're discussing how to face the activists and the campaigners of BDS. It's because it's influencing it negatively. Millions and millions of dollars Israel is losing with these campaigns. So they are thinking to make a ministry, anti-BDS ministry. And there will be a minister, an anti-BDS minister. Imagine how really sarcastic. But it shows that this peaceful tool is effective, and I call upon you to escalate your role in BDS. Second, the prisoners. This is a very painful fight in our lives. People are put in jail with no charges under what's so-called administrative law. This law, the British mandate used it. They kept it. And now they are drawing new rules to subjugate the Intifada and our people. They just take children to prison. Now there are 600, more than 600. Now, while I'm speaking, the army is going to the houses to search and to arrest more people. Now more than 8,000 now are in prison. They were 7,000 before the Intifada, and now they are more than 8,000, including 600 children who are tortured under interrogation. And there are more than 60 women now in prison who gave birth even in prison. And also the children who was born should be imprisoned for 2 years. This is the democratic Jewish state that Israel is asking to be recognized. On the other side, we have division between two main movements. It's Hamas and Fatah, and they are responsible for it. It's not because any part of them want the better and the interest of their people. Who makes division means he is working against his people. Because unity is the strength and not division. So, we were, since 9 years, we were calling to end this. We went to dialogues and negotiations many times, national dialogues. We reached to an agreement initiated by the prisoners for a minimum program and building a new strategy out of negotiations and out of religious things. But nobody heard. This is also a catastrophe to us. But still, we and others are still committed to mobilize our people and not to use arms. Arms are for the enemy and not for who has different views towards liberating their land and liberating their people and the right for return, establishing a state in Palestine for the Palestinians also. Now, in this dark image of the Middle East, the United States now, they are not ready for any solution. But still, let the war goes on. Any settlement, it's something behind their backs now. They are trying to do something, but suddenly Russia came out again and has an influence, whether politically or as a superpower again. The countries of the BRICS are also a new pole, economically. China is growing. Unfortunately, Europe is not. Although peoples of the EU and of Europe are civilized enough, are educated enough, they have their own parties, progressive forces, yet their governments are always coinciding with the US. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the reality. So the Americans, as if they were absent from the changes of the world. And you know now, Putin for them is the devil, but they shake hands with him because they are obliged to accept that. For Syria, because Always they have a hand where there is a war. Always. When the crisis in Syria began, they said that it's just to change Bashar al-Assad. And after 5 years, it seemed for them it cannot go on saying that we want Bashar al-Assad to leave. And he is not leaving. He is the president of the country. So they accepted the idea. It's because of the pressure. The people, or let me say, Russia interfered, Iran is supporting, and the United States now are thinking how to build the big or the bigger Middle East. And there is Bashar al-Assad. This is their problem. They want to divide Syria. And we have seen, just at the beginning of this month, the Kurds declared some kind of autonomy, and they believe in federalism. They said so. And there is a problem of the Kurds also in the region. And the Americans are not looking at the Kurds as a people. They are not looking at them this way. They are looking at PKK terrorists, democratic forces terrorists, those in Syria terrorists. They are the ones who created terrorism in our region. Israel, just by building it on our expense and occupying all Palestine, this is terrorism. And Israel is carrying the policy of a state terrorism against our people. So they want to change even the terminology and the definition of things as realities. We don't care for their definitions. We care for our people and for our land. We are determined to liberate our land, even it costs us years and years. Let me remind you, in Europe, there was a war for 100 years between Britain and France. This I learned in history. And the Nazis launched a Second World War. Where is the Nazis now? They failed to control the world because there was resistance everywhere. I tell you that we can be victorious only if you are with us, and you are with us, other peoples are with us. We shall be victorious. Thank you very much.